Well, hello. Today is Sunday, January 26th. And because the way the sun is shining, I wonder if I should be better off going the other way. Let me go over here, see if this works out better. Because it just doesn't seem... Yeah, that looks a little better. I mean, there's my water. Get my water ready, but let's get situated here a little better. Yeah, I think I like this angle better. It was too kind of like foggy. It's just... almost sundown, so whatever. Anyway, I know we should have fixed this all up before we started, shouldn't we have? But you know me, spur of the moment Sandy. Anyway, we have birthdays today because today is Landru's birthday, Landru. Landru, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Landru. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Patricia Barnhart, H-A-R-T. Patricia, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Patricia. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. And Roxy, it's your birthday too. Jim wanted to name one of our daughters Roxy if we had more than one. We only ended up with Christy. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Roxy. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope all three of you have a great, great birthday. At the time that Jim wanted to name, well, actually, that's what he wanted to name Christy. He wanted to name her Roxanne, but Sting, or was it the police? I think it was the police, not Sting. I know Sting was part of the police. I know that. But I think it was the group police when he was still part of it that they had, Roxanne, you don't have to turn your red light on tonight. I'm thinking, I don't want to do that. So not that I'm thinking that with you, Roxy. That didn't come out right at all, did it? But anyway... and then I never had morning sickness. Well, I shouldn't say I never had morning sickness. I got a bird. I got two birds. They kind of disappeared. Since I cut the tree down last summer, this winter has been very sparse with my birds. I have my soot has been in there over a month. And I change it every week. And my bird food, I just stopped filling it because none of the birds are coming. So I stopped putting the bird food in there. But oh my gosh, I got two birds. I know, easily distracted. This is why I would have went the other way. I probably wouldn't have noticed them. Anywho, what was I? Oh, so anyway, I never got sick with Jimmy. And my cravings for Jimmy, and I've said this in the past, my cravings was like gross. I could never do it now. Jimmy loves pickles. But Jim and I didn't have a lot of furniture. I got pregnant pretty quickly after we got married. We got married in July, and I had Jimmy the following October. So like within 15 months of being married, I had my firstborn. But with Jimmy, we used to, I worked at a little fruit market, and we didn't have a lot of furniture. We didn't have a lot of stuff. And we mostly just by the time we got home from work, we would just watch TV in bed. And we really didn't eat a lot for dinner. Jim was not really meant for making dinners. It was kind of hard. I was used to cooking for like 8 people, so trying to cook for 2 was kind of hard. So we would just make something and eat it in the bed while we were watching TV. And I used to, okay, long story short, or short story longer than it needs to be. I would buy those little frozen cans of lemonade. I don't know if they still sell those, where you put the concentrate, like you put the frozen part in and then you put 3 cans of water or 4 cans of water in and mix it up, and then you have like orange juice or lemonade or whatever. I never really looked to see if they still do that. Do they still do that? I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, I would take a can of lemonade and I would put it in the container. And instead of putting the 4 cans of water, I would put 2 cans of water because I'd like it really tart, so to speak. And then I loved, and I still do, hamburger dill chip pickles. So what I would do is I would put a bowl, like a cereal bowl of hamburger dill chip pickles. And then I'd pour some pickle juice over the top of it. And then, are you ready for this? I'd pour the lemonade on top of that, mush it all together like it was a pickle soup. And that would be my dinner. And I eat that all the time. Jimmy loves pickles and he loves lemonade. So it worked for him. Never got sick with him. Then in between Jimmy and Danny, I was not feeling really well. And I knew that I was pregnant. And the doctor kept saying I wasn't pregnant. And when I was pregnant with Jimmy, whenever I ate Burger King, I would get sick. So when I got pregnant the second time, every time I ate Burger King, I got sick. So I went to the hospital. I always went to, they call them Planned Parenthood now, but back then they were like abortion clinics, I guess, because it was right past Roe v. Wade. And so I would go to this health clinic, I guess was what they called it, to get my pregnancy test done because it was free. And they came back and they told me that I wasn't pregnant. And I told the lady, I says, I know I'm pregnant because I can't eat Burger King. She says, well, that's not a scientific method. So then I made an appointment with my actual doctor. And so he did a quick test and he said, you're not pregnant. And I go, yeah, I'm pregnant because I can't eat Burger King. And he says, no, that doesn't have anything to do with it. And I said, yes, it does. He says, well, we'll do this more elaborate, because I insisted, we'll do this more elaborate blood test. And so I said, okay. So they took the blood. I don't know how they did it before, but it was it was still blood, but I mean, it was a different kind of a test. And they didn't test with the urine, I think, a first time or what. I don't know how, I don't remember. It's so long ago. Anyway, when I went for the next test, he had told me, you know what, you're right, you're pregnant. And I said, I knew I was pregnant. And he says, yeah, yeah, I guess. But he says, I want you to come in on Monday because it doesn't seem right. And I said, oh, okay. And then that was on a Thursday. And then over the weekend, I had a miscarriage. So I was pregnant, but at that point, there wasn't a viable pregnancy. But my Burger King method worked. That I knew I was pregnant because they did, when I went, they found out that it was a miscarriage. And so then, Danny, I craved Coca-Cola and brownies. So I would go, it's like embarrassing, but like back then you'd buy a 6-pack of 12-ounce bottles of pop at the time. And they came in a bottle, which pop always tastes better in a bottle. It just really does taste better in a bottle than a can or a plastic container. And I'll go to my grave telling you that. It tastes better in a bottle. Anyway, I would get the pop. I would drink a whole 6-pack of pop, and I would make the brownies, and I would eat almost a whole box of brownies. Almost every day. I gained 75 pounds. Was that any wonder with Danny? Never got sick. Christy, I craved popcorn. And I don't have to have butter on it because the butter just didn't agree with me. So just popcorn. Plain popcorn. Pop the popcorn. Back then you get those little Jiffy things, remember that? And you put them on the stove and you shake them back and forth and then you pop open the little aluminum foil on the top. That's what I crave for Christy. So how did we get onto this subject? I got to take this call. I'll be right back. How ironic. We were talking about Christy and that was Christy on the phone. We're just trying to situate everything that's going on this week with Mary, but we'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, I craved with Christy popcorn. Always just had a popcorn. And not that I was nauseated or anything like that, because it was like any time during the day or night. Crispy crackers. Crispy crackers I loved. And I just liked the way it looked on the box. And so when Christy was born, I wanted to name her Crispy. I got nailed down for that. Nobody said that. So I changed the P to a T and named her Christy, which is very difficult because most people don't know how to spell Christy. They go Christy or Chrisssy or Kristen, Kristie. Even like when they're little, they always get those little mailbox or license plates. Never could find one. Never could find a cup. Never could find anything that just said Christy. Kristen, Crystal, or whatever. Never Christy. So that's why we named her Christy, other than Roxanne. So that's that story. Mary's got to go to the doctors again this week, Mondays and Thursdays. Thursdays, Jim is being Mary. She's going to bring us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick Mary up Wednesday afternoon while Jim goes to his archery league, and then just have her spend the night, because that'll save me a half an hour of having to drive all the way over to her house to pick her up to come back. Actually, we're probably it'll save us almost 45 to 50 minutes by her spending the night, because it takes about 20 or 25 minutes to get to her house to pick her up, and then it takes another 20 or 25 minutes to get back to the expressway to go down to the thing. So by doing this, I'm cutting off about almost an hour, so I can get another hour of my beauty sleep. So there we go. So anyway, so Jim and I are going to take her down on Thursday. Well, tomorrow she's got to have some kind of procedure where she's having a endoscopy done. I don't know. They're taking one of her stents out or something. I don't. She's got some kind of stent that they're going to be taking out. All of her stitches and her staples are out, but I guess she's still got a stent. And then she's got to see the liver doctor, the kidney doctor, and she has to go to the lab. So tomorrow was like a total fiasco because my niece Holly was going to take her, But then her husband's work schedule got changed, and he has to have the car, because they only have one car. He has to have the car to go to work at 11:30. Mary's procedure, she's got to be downtown at 8 o'clock in the morning. No, wait a minute. Yeah, she's got to be down there at 7:45. She has to be down there at 7:45 because she has to give blood before she has an 8 o'clock kidney appointment. And then, so Holly was going to bring her. But then she said, I can't stay because the procedure that she's going to have is starting like at 9 or 10 o'clock, and that can go anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. And so Holly wouldn't be able to get her back. Jim could bring me to go. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow morning, so I can't bring her because my dentist appointment's at 10 o'clock. But I don't have a car because David's truck is still in the bump shop because they couldn't find parts. They finally got parts, but like he fell behind in other cars that they started on. So hopefully his car will be done, his truck will be done by Friday. But he's going to be borrowing his mother's car. I know it's very confusing. He's going to be borrowing his mother's car for the rest of the week because she's in a carpool, and even though it was her week to drive this week, she made arrangements, whatever. But she has a dentist appointment tomorrow, so she has to have her car. So David borrowed my car. Are you still with me? I know it gets confusing. So David's going to have my car tomorrow because he has to go to work tomorrow. And I have to go to the dentist. So Jim is going to drive me to the dentist and wait for me. Well, I'm just getting my teeth cleaned, so it'll only be like a half-hour appointment. So I'm just getting my teeth cleaned. But then we have to get Mary to bring her home from the hospital after her procedure. So Bertie, my sister-in-law, who's Jim's sister, said that she would drive me down there because Mary can't get into Jim's truck because it's a step up. It's like he's got a F-150 truck, but it's like it's kind of high up. So Mary can't get up into the truck. And he can't use my car because, whatever. I know it'd be easier if Jim just had David take his truck instead of my car, but then Jim has something he's got to do in the afternoon, and he don't like driving the clown car. So anyway, so Mary had called earlier, and she said, well, Holly has a problem because Haley, her daughter, who is mentally challenged, has to get the bus in the morning to go to her school, and so then Holly wasn't sure she would be able to do it, but then Mary called and she could change. I know. You don't really care, I know. But so she changed her appointment. So now Holly's going to bring her down there. She's going to wait until she's in with the procedure. And then if she has to leave, she'll have to leave before I get down there because she's got to be home before 11:30 so Jim could leave for work. His name is Jim also, her husband. So, and I won't probably get to Bertie's house till 11:30. So I don't see me getting downtown till about 12 or 12:15. But my thinking is if somebody's in the waiting room, at least when she goes in for her procedure, and Holly will leave my phone number if there's a problem. If you're in the hospital, you don't sit in the waiting room the whole time. A lot of times you go down to the cafeteria or something, so they might just think that's going on. So that's the way it's going to work. All that in a nutshell, just for that. So, but Mary's doing really well, and she found somebody that's she is moving back home to her house that she has. So she has somebody coming this week. They're going to pull the carpeting up, sand the floors, wash the walls, paint the walls, and then her bedroom, take the wallpaper down and paint in the bedroom. And then Don's sister's taken him one day this week to buy the paint and to buy a new stove and refrigerator. So they're hoping by the middle of next month or end of next month to move into the house and then not be in the apartment anymore. That's where they're going from there. I know, so much going on in my life, so much going on. And then, I wanted to welcome Crystal Weber. Crystal, welcome to my channel. She said she found my channel, so I'm really glad you came along. Let me know in the comments below when your birthday is, and I can sing to you on your birthday, because I'm sure you've noticed I sing to people on their birthdays. If you don't want me to sing, you don't have to tell me your birthday. I'm just saying that I'd like to sing. I like to celebrate people's birthdays with them. And then, what else? What else? Bertie and Ron came over last night, like I said yesterday. We played euchre. The guys beat us really bad. I think they won 4 games and we won 2. But I play for the fun of it. I don't, I'd like to win. I know I like to win, but if you don't get the cards, you can't play it. So we do play euchre, so we do like that. And I thought I'd finish my book last night, but I didn't because Bertie and Ron came over and I played cards, so I wasn't reading. But I did go by the post office yesterday and I got some mail. So let me see what it is. I haven't opened it yet. It's a puzzle. So we got a card in there. This is going to be another hard one. This, I'm telling you, the one we're doing right now is really hard. This is for if I want to return it. Oh, thank you from Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. I have so many Lynn's that watch me. Lynnne. So Lynn, thank you so much. But look at it, it's so cool. It's a vintage clock puzzle. Try not to get too much glare on it. Oh, this is going to be another challenging puzzle, I can see. 1,000 pieces. That's what we usually do, 500 to 1,000. Well, thank you so much. I'm really going to look forward to doing this one. At the end of the video, I'll show you the progress we're making on the one we're doing right now. I think we're making some progress on it. Finally, it's starting to look like a puzzle, and that looks like a hot mess. It's starting to look pretty good for us. And then there was something else I was going to mention. Oh, it was funny because Kim, Edie, Joan, and I are like on a group message text in the Facebook Messenger, and that we talk about our pantry challenge and things going on with that. And one of Joan's chickens turned out to be a male, and so she says, I kind of suspected that I think his name is Finbar. She says, I kind of suspected that it was a rooster, and yeah, I found out this morning. She says, and it was cock-a-doodle-doing. So then she had wrote, hopefully my neighbors don't mind. And then Kim had said, well, I'm sure they don't mind. It's not a big deal. You won't get anybody that complain. And so then I had said, well, I think I know a woman from Michigan who, even though she loves birds, might find it irritating being woken up in the middle of the night. And so then Joan responded. She says, well, actually, it was like at 8 o'clock this morning when he started cock-a-doodle-doing. And I put, like I said, the middle of the night. It's the middle of the night for me. It really is. When you go to bed at 2 or 3 o'clock, 4 or 5 hours later, that's still the middle of the night. Although it's like, Edie's out, like she says, well, I have a doctor's appointment at 7:30. I'm on my way on the road. And I'm thinking, Edie, you're a nut. Or like even Kim or Joan. Well, we got up at 4 o'clock to do our exercises. I'm going 4 o'clock to do exercise, which is why they're all so healthy. And not me, but I did see an article, or not an article. I saw like a little infomercial. I guess that's what they call them, infomercial. That there's this doctor that was on, and he was just trying to stress the importance of exercise. And I know that's my problem with my balance is because I'm not having enough exercise. I do know that. I've come to that conclusion. But he said that you can have an obese woman who exercises for like an hour a day be healthier than the person that's under like the normal weight that doesn't do any exercises at all. That the person that's obese and exercises for an hour a day will probably live longer than the within the right weight range person that sits around and does nothing. He says the same as he says, smoking is bad. He said that. Smoking is bad. But somebody that smokes but exercises on a regular basis is going to be living longer than somebody that thinks that just because they're the proper weight, but they don't have to exercise. So you do have to get exercise in your life. I understand that. And the older I get, the more I'm realizing that. And I loved walking, but it's just my fear of falling now. And my fear of falling is because my legs are getting kind of weak, and my legs are getting kind of weak because I'm not exercising, because I think I'm going to fall. So it's like a vicious little circle. So I'm going to start, as much as I don't like Leslie Sansone videos, because I don't think you're really walking. That's exercise. I do realize that I have to exercise. I know I said I was going to start going to the gym this week, and I do have that every intention of trying to do that this week, but I have another busy week ahead of me. So I'm just going to have to carve out some time to get some exercise in, whether it's going to the gym or just going down the basement and walking around in the basement, or just doing some regular exercises from TV. I like sweating to the oldies. I've seen stuff on, if you follow me on Facebook, you see that I've shared a lot of balance videos. That I shared them so that they'd stay in my feed so that I could look for them. And I just come to the realization that I have to do that. I have a watch that I can do a challenge on. My watch I have an Apple Watch that I can do challenges on. So I have no excuses. No excuses at all. Sorry, Mary France. Stole your thunder. But anyway, that's going to do it, I guess. Let me show you how far we're getting on the puzzle, and let's check in again tomorrow. Tomorrow, Yeah, I'll probably get Mary on my video tomorrow since I got to pick her up. You'll also get to see Birdie. How's that sound? So tune in tomorrow. See you then. Okay, we're finally seeing some progress on the puzzle. Got this side pretty much going pretty good. In the middle.